from Yoga Wisdom. Today I would like to share with you the outer rotation of the arm, why we want to do it like that and why it doesn't happen like that, and what to do to help it. So first, if I can speculate, I think the main reason it doesn't happen is because of shoulder tightness. Neck, upper trap, romboids, lats, romboids between the shoulder blades, tricep. It's the whole mechanism of the shoulder, and even could be hip destabilization. So if you're not holding from the hips, you can't really isolate this movement and stretch out, because then the hips just going forward with you. Okay, so we need to stabilize here, lifting in the core. So the first it's an inner hugging, I call it a hugging, but it's kind of a pull in, so it's an inner rotation. That always happens, and then the outer rotation without losing the inner rotation. So we either can do outer rotation, lose everything, or we do inner rotation because we're just so strong or thinking that this is where we need to go. So a bit of a both and a happy medium. Okay, let's look at the suppleness or the flexibility of the shoulders. The trapezius, the pectoralis, the pec muscles, could be very tight and the shoulders are hunched forward. So start even just this. Yoga is just wonderful. Stretching out there, which will also help to get your rhomboids active and loose at the back. You could merely just massage the pec like so and find the very tight spots and get them loose. Okay. So simple exercise to know if you even can, if it does mobilize like that, is on your hands and knees, pressing and releasing, and pressing and it's not necessary, this is what you must watch for, it's not a drop through, it's a lift in the tummy, so make sure the tummy's lifting and the shoulders are actually moving separately. A nice tricep stretch, a nice shoulder blade opener. Ooh, okay, so there you got your support. You could do it on a table, you could do it higher. It's just nicer on a little surface compared to just laying on the floor. You hold the sticks so the arms don't fall in to get the rotation, to get that rotation out for the hands parallel. Lift the chest, but no, don't force, it's going to move, it's going to relax. Lift the tummy and then lengthen the tricep and stretch your shoulders down. Okay, that's quite an intense one. I find it a step further than the general yoga one where we're doing maybe that or that. And I find it different to cat stretch, because in the cat stretch we generally go whoop and we just let that arm rotate out and we're not getting the stretch there. We're demobilizing or destabilizing, not demobilizing, destabilizing the rib cage area. Okay, so that is why in many of the practices people use the yoga straps to stabilize, and just an exercise, just doing this, pulling, opening the upper back, opening the lower back, and so you notice the shoulder, as soon as I rotate out, the shoulder naturally comes down. There's a natural connection to the lat, and then from there I can stretch out. Oh, a nice lat stretch, very nice what I learned, really helped me a lot to start the loosening of the shoulder area. On all fours, take one hand in line with the other hand, lift, and you're going to lift and pull back from the hip area, breathe in, breathe out. And you're stretching right from the little finger right into the hip. So let's look at the outer rotation. Okay, so why we want the outer rotation is its anatomical position. It's actually where it should be. It's very relaxed. The upper trap is not engaged when it's outer rotated. And when we use the outer rotation, we're stacking. We're not using muscle to go up, but you're lifting the whole body and it's coming up over the hands, not there. It's in my own strength of the legs, and I place my hands down. So the cat-cow, I like to watch for the soft part of my elbow, lifting under the armpit, lifting the tricep, lifting the lat, and then trying to rotate the soft part of the elbow forward. So the round positions reasonably speaks for itself. But it's when we go into the cat and we think, oh, we have to dunk and pull the shoulder blades down or something. So let's try by keeping the hands down and the chest up, the tummy up, and the knees and the legs down. Then only change the back between the shoulders and the hips. You don't change the arms, you don't change the legs. The hips and the shoulders do the change. And I keep watching that my elbows stay the same. Okay, so it makes a much looser cat-cow position. Then in the down dog, what I would suggest initially is not to go into down dog and get reminded, oh goodness, my shoulders are not in the right place. So you just run and shorten and force. But to come down, get the lift, and even from cat-cow lift, relax the neck, rotate outwards, press down into the hands and roll into your down dog, and they in the position, you're stretching, you're lifting. So that's the aim, working towards handstands, handstand presses, bakasana to handstand. All those quite advanced poses really come from the length and the stretch from the arm. Even vasisthasana, which really is a downward facing dog arm on the side, getting the rotation and lengthening out. So let's look at that one. From the down dog, outer rotate, I keep it outer rotating. I keep the lift in the armpits, I keep the lift in, and I rotate and I push through the hand, lengthening out. So it gives me that a space where it's not tense on the arm, but it's really stacked, and then I can lengthen and push. Now, this is where I don't know if many people realize this, but it goes into the back bends as well. The shoulder doesn't want to, and then there's an outer rotation. So the reason this is also not just the tightness, tightness in the body, and this is why the body's not in the natural and anatomical place or neutral space, is the arch. So now I've got this going and I can't get an inner rotation because this is stuck out. So I have to get the lift in the belly, the relax in the ribs, and the hip bones up. And that will give me the hug in, then I can get the rotation out. No, the hug in is the rotation out. It's confusing when the arms are above your head, but it's, yeah, so I rotate out. And even when you start doing it, try, my hands used to always try to do that, and then I try to straighten out, but as soon as you do that, it's forcing into the tricep, forcing it and opening up in the lat. So start doing your Surya Namaskar, maybe trying to get the little fingers together for a few months and reaching up and back instead of letting the arms just go back. So even simple, I like to hold a brick, doing Surya Namaskar. Inhaling, open the chest, reaching back, exhale. So I know my arms are always reaching and hugging in the elbows. And so that will lead us to all the back bends. Really, it's, the secret is hug and lengthen and pull. So the muscles want to hug and elongate and activate, but not hard, never tense. So back bending with a strap around, so handstands, bakasana, all this done with a strap around the elbows really helps to get that tricep up, armpit up, and the outer rotation. So bakasana with strap. I like the softer strap. The band, the yoga strap is really nice when you are settled and really strong in it, because you're pushing against this. At least if I'm a little bit not supple enough in my shoulders, at least I've got a little bit of give. Okay, but it is there to remind me and bring my awareness into the elbows. So lifting up in the tummy, and lifting up in the armpits, keeping the elbow and pressing into the arms, pressing down into the hands. Okay. So let's see, when we do back bend, this is also very nice. Because now if we got the round and the tightness, even if you were arching, when we take the arch away, you actually notice, don't worry, I didn't do it now, that this position really is kyphosis as well. When you start taking the arch away, the back is actually still rounded. So we do want to open up the front chest. And so we're going to do it here. Tilt the pelvis, stretch the arms out, make the shoulder blades lengthen, and then reach and open. So that's very nice to do with a strap. Let's do it with the yoga band. And wanted shoulder width, reach it, and I can pull to open out and get active in the shoulders. Okay. So same thing in the back bend. This is often, I'm going to try and show what often happens when I see all my students. The arms struggle to get there because of the tricep shortness. So they're there, and now I've got, and it's a push, and now I'm never getting the length in the top part of the body. Sure, we're going to hug it in, and you hug in, everything's coming in, and then we'll get the stretch out as soon as we start getting weight onto the hands. Hips up, and hug in, and then push, and open, and stretch, press, hug. So when you do that, so initially, this killed me because there's no give, and I just couldn't even straighten the arms in. So these straps give a little bit of give. It does get in the way of your face. The outer rotation next to the ears. So you just have to maneuver your head in a way that it gets above the strap. And you open. There, you rotate. That's the outer rotation. Rotate and lengthen. Okay. Good. Whew. And same in the handstand. I just want to show one more thing. Who doesn't want to do a handstand? But we do know we're supposed to get the weight over the hands. So this is often what happens. We go, we're getting the weight over the hands. Or we go, and then elbows bend and then sinking in. So we're going to hug and stretch out and outer rotate, plant the hands, and when you come over and you bring your weight over, don't bring it over like that. The hip bones forward or lifted, the tummy really lifted. So you're stretching over, and I think of my hands as two sticks. So I'm shifting my weight over two sticks, and that in itself will be a very nice exercise to feel that the arms aren't giving, you're pushing all the time. And when you go into the handstand, lifting up and over, lifting up and stretching out. Good. Hope you enjoyed, and happy yoga. Thank you for joining. Namaste.